My friends? Welcome to another Galaxy of Heroes video. Today I'm talking about Brood Alpha and the rest of the Geonosians and why they are absolutely positively not a waste of gear for the Geonosian territory battles. In fact, I think they are a fantastic offensive and defensive team. I'm already showing you footage right now because I have so much footage that I filmed over on the test account. I've been doing a lot of testing against the Geonosians with a ton of meta teams. Now, I'm sure there's probably going to be, I think I'm sure like 9 or 10 battles or so, and I'm sure there's probably a team that you wanted to see that I don't end up showing here. I'm sorry, I can only cram so much into one video. And I know there are so many of you out there that want to see the World Cup that is coming very soon. I have already recorded Group D, and that will be arriving here in a few days, so stay tuned for that, but we're doing this today. And my friends, we have got a streak going on this channel. The last 4 Galaxy of Heroes videos have all hit 1,000 likes, my friend. Let's keep that trend going, everyone. Hit that like button if you are enjoying the content. Main point I want to make in this video, I'm just going to lead off with it and I'll kind of digest it and break it down, is that these Geonosians can be beat. There's plenty of teams that can beat them, but they can beat a lot, and a lot of teams really struggle against them, and so they're going to be a really formidable team either to draw out some key defenses for your opponents. If you mod them well, your opponents are going to have to use something pretty solid, which can be very beneficial in and of itself. Or if you want to save them for an offensive team, you're going to see a ton of options that work very well for you. Now, speaking of modding, you can see the team right here. From a modding perspective, mods are obviously going to be, they're always really important when it comes to getting these teams modded. I'm going to tell you generally how I modded the team, and talking with some really high-level experts in the game about this. This is kind of recommendations that came from them, so I'm not going to take credit for how I modded this team, but the general idea here is to get Geonosian Soldier, Geonosian Spy loaded up with lots of offense, make the rest of the team survivable. And this is on the test account if I haven't said that already. So starting with Geonosian Soldier, the way that I got him modded, obviously everyone you're going to want some speed on to a degree, but Geonosian Soldier very heavily reliant on crit damage and critical chance. I've got Geonosian Spy modded basically the same way. Poggle, I've got speed and health on him. You want to have a lot of survivability on everyone if possible, especially some of these other characters that aren't as DPS heavy, because that health pool is going to spread through the rest of the Geonosians. Alpha, I've got modded for tenacity. So I got speed on him, but tenacity is actually really important on Alpha because his stats scale over to brute, first of all. So you want that survivability, you want that tenacity on him. Something you want tenacity on brute for is so brute is not going to be absorbing as many, like, say, buff immunities, because one of the biggest benefits of the brute is that you are having that just persistent taunt that just seems to always come back. Very, very solid taunting tank that basically taunts the whole battle. And then tenacity is also big for some other characters like Sunfac. Sunfac is pretty important to have tenacity on, in large part because you really want him countering, and if somebody has days going on, you don't want Sunfac to ever miss on a counter, because it's not only going to be nice to have those counters. Sunfac doesn't deal a ton of damage though. It's less the DPS, it's more the dispel that he has on his basic. And then Poggle the Lesser, by the way, is also fantastic to have assisting with his basic. You don't really want him to be dazed either, because he's going to be dishing out ability block on his basic. And so again, high level mod overview. I'm not breaking down the mods for every single team that I show, because we'd spend the whole video talking about mods. So high level mod overview there. I think you'll see that the principles kind of hold in the wild. So what makes it so hard for all of these teams to attack the Geonosians? You'll see here a lot of teams struggle with it, and a big part of this is going to be that a lot of debuffs are nerfed with this team. First of all, if you mod them well enough for tenacity, that's very beneficial to you, but also Brood Alpha is going to have a cleanse, which is going to really you're going to have a really hard time keeping any days out there. The days strategy really doesn't work very effectively. The healing immunity strategy doesn't work either. I mean, even if you get preventable or undispellable healing immunity on the team, the health equalization doesn't work, the healing immunity doesn't work with health equalization. It will just distribute anyway because it's not healing, it's equalizing, it's different. The non-stop taunting for Brute is also very, very beneficial to you. I mean, especially if you can mod your Brood Alpha right and get that Brute really tanky, having a taunting tank there, you're balancing a taunt both between Brute and between Sunfac, both of which are going to be super tanky if you do the mods right, and it's just you can't hit anybody of value. Geonosian Soldier and Geonosian Spy just light you up, and there's so much assisting and so many debuffs that come your way as a result. In particular, or I should say, the main debuff is the ability block, but then also having your own buffs dispelled by Sunfac over and over again. It can be so problematic. And speaking of Sunfac dispelling, this basically takes away any taunting tank strategy you've got because they just, I mean, you can see in this footage, these Geonosians are just assisting and assisting and assisting. It's just like this swarm, which, by the way, I think is pretty cool. I mean, it looks like this hive is coming after you over and over and over and over again. And Sunfac being part of that, it's just if you've got a taunting tank, forget about it. He's going to clear it. He's going to clear it. He's going to clear it over and over and over again. Even characters like Kylo Ren Unmasked or Bosk who have that taunt that comes back. Old Ben, I mean, maybe they dispel it once, it comes back, but they're just going to keep dispelling. It's going to go away. So I'm showing you a lot of teams here that just don't work. Now, I'm sure maybe there's something in my attack strategy I could have tweaked. I did a lot of testing. I tested all of these teams multiple times. I just didn't want to share every single. I mean, I could have shared 50 battles with you guys, but the teams that I did try, these losses that I'm showing you, I just was not able to win with these teams, and all of them have really solid test account mods here, people, and so not really able to get much going with these teams, but a few teams did work. It's not like there's nothing you can take against us. There's no options. In fact, Traya is a very freaking hard counter. I mean, Traya just shuts the team down. Ladies and gentlemen, Traya's like, not feeling the bugs. Get out of here, bug. Seriously, though, she just completely destroys it. I should have tried this. I've since unmodded everything. I should go back in and try this, but I'm pretty sure that you could beat this a really well-modded Geonosian team with just Traya and Scion, because what happens is Traya's unique just completely obliterates any assisting, or is that in her leadership? One or the other. I forget where it is in her kit, but she nerfs the assisting, and so the team just eats itself alive, and then Scion just comes out and just does his little AoE, and it's just lights out. Just forget about it. And so Traya, very hard counter. But again, like I'm saying, a lot of these counters that I found that actually worked pretty well against the Geonosians, they're pretty meta characters. And so, I mean, if you're sometimes bringing out that meta team is a win enough. I mean, maybe you've got a Night Sister team sitting back there that you think that your opponent's probably going to want to use Traya for Night Sisters. And so you put the Geonosians up front and Night Sister waiting back. They don't have Night Sister anymore. They got to figure something else out. Something like that. Padme lead also kind of takes him out to lunch. Forget about it. Padme's got no time for this Geonosians. I'm totally okay with that. That kind of makes sense to me. But she has that 40% undispellable protection up whenever an enemy attacks out of turn. She just shuts down all of that assisting. That's just a major ouch. It's just a major middle finger to all the Geonosians. It's going to take a little bit. You can see here, I've got a footage of Padme team here a bit later in the video. I don't know if it'll be... I've got the footage recorded. I'm just going to play it during the video. It might line up with where I'm talking. It might not. But when you see the Padme footage, it is, it takes a little bit, but they're able to handle it just fine. It's not really an issue for Padme. Night Sisters can win. I actually ended up not getting a recorded battle of Night Sisters. I'm kind of kicking myself over that, but I didn't have time to get back in there to do it. I was able to win with Night Sisters, but it was a bit shaky. I would say it's, kind of a 50-50. It might just be the Night Sisters team I was using, but that's something else to know. Night Sisters can work against it, but it wasn't super reliable, at least in my testing. And then finally here at the end, you can see Shock T going against this with her clones. She does well against it too. It takes a little bit, but she's able to handle this just fine. Not really much of an issue for Shock. And then I think it can be assumed that Darth Revan and Jedi Revan are going to work against this. I mean, I didn't even test it. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I just feel like I know that's going to work. But who really finds me one person who out there is really going to feel a need to take Jedi Revan or Darth Revan against the bugs? I don't see that happening, so I don't really see value in showing that to you. Like, they're going to beat it. So at the end of the day, some major takeaways from this is the Geonosians are for real. They absolutely have a place in Grand Arena. I think it's definitely a team that you could use on offense. I mean, they're taking out a lot of really good teams here. And that's with me controlling the team on offense. And so you could only assume that you could flip that script and do just fine with them as an offensive team. You can see how that works for a lot of teams here. But I also think very viable defensive team. There might be some really hard counters to it, but it's even, I mean, say you take your opponent takes Treya against it, your opponent just used Treya. That's fantastic. Now they can't use Treya somewhere else. And so it might be also something good to bring out those counters. Or if anything, if you're brand new, you've just got a brand new Brood Alpha, and you're getting your Geonosians geared up. Throw them in there. It might be the first time your opponent's seen this. Maybe your opponent hasn't seen my video. They don't know what's going to counter it. Maybe they try taking CLS into it. They get totally wrecked. Something like that. You could really catch people off guard, especially at the beginning. And then finally, a quick note here at the end in case you were wondering. You can see in the footage, but I did this all with Gear 12. This is full maxed out Gear 12, no finisher pieces, but everything else is there for everyone. I just didn't have enough Gear 13 on the test accounts to do this for everyone and make it a reflective test. But I'm sure they'll be good at Gear 13. Everything's good at Gear 13, right? All right, my friends, let me know what you thought about this video down in the comments below. If you did enjoy the video, give it a thumbs up. I greatly appreciate your support. And as always, my brothers, don't forget
my dead body. Sorry about the mess.